I welcome you to the series. Using the same passage for last week's presentation from Ruth chapter 1 from verse 6 to 18, I wish to analyze the same text from the perspective of the kind of conversation that must take place when people are in a state of grief. The theme is the family conversation. The therapeutic relationship. Whenever death occurs, bereaved individuals entertain all kinds of emotions. Some of these emotions are triggered by a lot of unanswered questions. God, why? What sin did I commit to deserve this? Is God punishing me for the sins of my youth? How am I going to cope with life without my husband or without my wife? Who will take care of the children? How do we share the property? Shouldn't I have properly reconciled with my partner before the death? These and many more questions keep hitting bereaved individuals and then put them in an emotionally vulnerable position. From this perspective, I wish to draw our attention to the lessons we can learn from the conversation between Naomi and the two daughters-in-law, courtesy of the book by Reverend Father Thomas Opon-February, titled Loss and Redemption. 1. No entrenched position. Naomi requested that the two daughters-in-law go back to their families. This was after they had left Moab and were journeying back to Judah. The passage says, then she kissed them goodbye, and they wept aloud. And then what happened? They also said to her, we will go back with you to your people. Ruth chapter 1 from verse 9 to 10. What strikes me is the kind of conversation, or call it a discussion, that was taking place as they were navigating their way. Though Naomi's intention was that they went back to their families, she did not take an entrenched position. What we see in our families when we are bereaved. What kind of conversations take place when planning for the future? Do we attend meetings with fixed minds? Do we have the attitude that says, this is my offer, you better take it or leave it? To have a better family conversation, we need to learn from Naomi by listening. We may have our position, but others must also be allowed to contribute to the discussion. 2. Be more reasonable and less sentimental. After the first proposal appeared to have been rejected by the daughters-in-law, she did a second. The passage says, but Naomi said to them, return home, my daughters. Why would you come with me? Am I to have any more sons who could become your husbands? Return home, my daughters. I am too old to have another husband. Even if I thought there was still hope for me, even if I had a husband tonight and then gave birth to sons, would you wait until they grew up? Would you remain unmarried for them? No, my daughters. It is more bitter for me than for you, because the Lord's hand has turned against me. At this, the text says, they wept aloud again. Then Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye, but Ruth stayed with her. The lesson is that Naomi offered a reasonable explanation about why Orpah and Ruth had to go back to their families. There was no name calling. Rather, they focused on the issue at stake. Our family conversations must be driven not by emotions, but by reason. Oftentimes, during family conversations, we allow emotions to overshadow reason. Let us bear in mind that unreasonable demands hurt more and aggravate existing pain. Accusations and counter-accusations do not help the conversation, but rather destroy the family. We should learn to keep our emotions in check during the family conversation and allow reason to prevail. 3, taking a decision is another point that stands out in the story. Every family meeting or conversation must lead to taking decisions. When finally Orpah had to leave, it was her decision to do so. Ruth, on the other hand, decided to stay with Naomi. The family conversation allowed for each member to take her own decision. No decision was taken under duress. At the end of the day, all of them kissed one another. This means that there was deep affection and there was peace. When decisions are taken within the context of acrimony, it destroys families. Is it not sad to see a family that was once united, now divided due to acrimonious decisions? Why must sharing of property destroy the beauty of the family? Where are the Naomis to lead the family conversation? What is therefore the conclusion? When people are bereaved, let us aim at having a conversation where the voice of everyone matters. No taking of an entrenched position, because it ends up destroying families. Decisions must be taken, and these decisions must deepen bonds and not rather separate bonds. May God bless you. Amen.